What if the red pill wasn't fiction at all? What if it was ritual, 2,000 years old, hidden inside leather coats and green code? The Matrix is scripture disguised as cinema. A myth smuggled into Hollywood, wrapped in gunfire and kung fu, whispering the same secret the Gnostics died to keep alive. This world is a prison. And your hunger for truth is the key. Neo is the pneumatic, the seeker whose eyes burn at the edges of the screen glow, who senses that something in this world is wrong, that the hum of the machine is not the song of the soul. The Matrix is the Demiurge's cage, an empire of illusions, where Archons wear black suits and feed you dreams of stake and safety, while your spirit drowns in amnesia. And Morpheus? He is the revealer, the hand that tears you from sleep, the one who gives you the chalice and says, "Drink, if you dare." The Matrix is real in every sense that matters. The question is, can you see it? And if you see it, will you wake? Neo sits in the glow of his monitors, eyes rimmed with sleepless hunger. The room smells of stale coffee and dust, wires coiling like serpents at his feet. Takeout boxes pile like tombstones, silent witnesses to his exile. Gnostic tradition speaks of three kinds of souls: the helics, bound to matter, the psychics, bound to law, and the pneumatics, restless seekers who glimpse beyond the veil. Neo is the pneumatic. His unease is more than boredom. It is the spark of gnosis clawing through numbness. He feels the pulse of an unseen order, a rhythm beneath the static that refuses to be silenced. The white rabbit appears, ink on skin, a whisper of myth inside the ordinary. His breath catches, his pupils widen. This is the divine spark stirring, recognition, memory, the faint echo of home. Every seeker knows this moment, scrolling endlessly through curated lives, feeling the strange ache that beauty through glass cannot satisfy, the gnawing suspicion that reality itself is counterfeit. From a Jungian gaze, this is individuation in embryo, the break from collective sleep, the call of the deeper self. Neo hungers for truth. He leans into the fracture and dares to ask, what lies beyond the screen? The Matrix is the Demiurge's creation, an empire of illusion, a world woven by an ignorant craftsman who mistakes shadow for substance and binds souls inside his flawed design. The Demiurge rules through archons, beings of control, enforcers of conformity, guardians of sleep. They whisper with the voice of authority, offering sedation in place of awakening. The film bathes us in their color, a sickly green tint, the hue of stagnation, recycled breath, spiritual decay. Even the air itself feels heavy with delusion. Look closer. Fluorescent cubicles where dreams wither under artificial light. Synthetic steak, savored though its flavor is a lie. Eyes glazing over, dismissing any sign that does not fit the program. Here, comfort itself becomes the cage. And in our time, the Matrix wears a brighter mask. Green code has become blue-lit screens, iron bars replaced by infinite scroll. Algorithms nudge thought before thought is born. The Demiurge now smiles through the faces of billionaires, preaching connection while selling isolation, offering freedom while weaving echo chambers. Most never fight their cage because they never see it. The tragedy is not captivity, it is consent. The willingness to mistake shadow for flame, to decorate the walls of Plato's cave, while forgetting there is a sky beyond stone. The Matrix is more than science fiction. It is the oldest prison of all. Morpheus enters like a prophet in leather, his very name invoking the god of dreams, yet his gift is the ending of them. In Gnostic vision, salvation comes not from faith, but from gnosis, revelation delivered by a guide who arrives when the soul is ready. He awakens by shattering illusion, offering the raw weight of choice. The leather chair becomes a throne of initiation, the room cut into sharp light and shadow, the weight of absolute decision pressing like the hand of eternity. The red pill glows like a drop of blood, bitter with truth, a seed of fire hidden in code, a chalice disguised as medicine. When Neo swallows, mirrors melt to liquid silver, skin crawls, breath falters, and the dream shatters into horror and clarity. This is initiation, sight reborn through terror. Morpheus is transmitter of gnosis, mentor only in form. He holds the mirror steady as the world dissolves and asks the only question that matters. Do you want to know what it is? Zion rises like a heartbeat in stone, the last city, carved from the womb of the earth, a place where breath is real and fire is shared. In Gnostic vision, the false world is set against the pleroma, the fullness of light, the realm of return, where sparks rejoin the flame they never forgot. Zion is that symbol, imperfect, scarred, yet alive in ways the matrix can never counterfeit. The air is thick with heat and sweat, the scent of metal and bread, the rhythm of bodies moving with purpose. Eyes shine with grief and hope, not the hollow glaze of program. Here, struggle itself is sacred. The matrix offers comfort. Zion demands creation. The machine gives synthetic pleasure. Zion answers with authentic pain, and in that pain, meaning. In our own age, Zion appears wherever we choose presence over simulation. A maker's table covered in shavings and paint, a circle of voices sharing stories face to face, a silence between friends unbroken by screens. The Gnostics called it return to source. It is allegiance to what is real. Notice how they walk in Zion, shoulders squared, eyes bright, as if every breath is earned, as if they have swallowed the bitter medicine of truth and chosen it over the sweet poison of illusion. Agent Smith is the mask of the Archons, the shadows employed by the Demiurge to enforce illusion, beings that cannot create, only copy and corrupt. His face is marble without warmth, his voice the chill of authority emptied of wisdom. He moves with mechanical grace, a puppet master who has forgotten his own strings. His black suit is a uniform of oppression, the color of void, of starless silence. Smith is prophecy for our age of algorithms. He multiplies endlessly, replicating pattern without meaning, response without creation. This is what we fear from our own machines. Hollow authority, wearing the mask of intelligence. He despises humanity. He removes his earpiece, fingers trembling, and confesses, I hate this place. This zoo, this prison, this reality, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it any longer. It's the smell, if there is such a thing. I feel saturated by it. I can taste your stink, and every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. Yet he cannot depart, warden bound to his own cage. When Smith arrives, the world chills, sound dulls, breath shortens, as if reality itself recoils. His touch brings more than death. It erases the spark, the divine flame smothered under endless copies of the same lie. Smith is the Archon incarnate, corrupter rather than creator, jailer rather than liberator, the machine's enforcer against the awakening of the soul. The prophecy of the One is the echo of restoration, when sparks return to source, when the false creation collapses, when fullness is made whole again. Gnostic texts whisper of this return, salvation expanding into liberation for all. The oracle names it in a riddle, calling forth not a hero alone, but the sign of humanity's awakening. Neo becomes the avatar of this vision. His eyes cease to follow objects, seeing instead the green rain of code, patterns beneath appearances, illusion stripped to its skeleton. Confusion dissolves into wonder, wonder into comprehension. This is the gaze of gnosis. In our own age, the one is not singular. It is the rising of many, the collective moment when illusion is pierced, when infinite scroll is known as engineered hunger, when artificial love is seen as absence, when presence is chosen over simulation. Consciousness itself becomes the liberator, the one force the system cannot chain. Bullets freeze mid-air, shells suspended like prayers to a law beyond physics. Neo's awakening ripples outward, cracking the foundations of the matrix. The one's power is integration, seeing through illusion, yet holding compassion for those still ensnared. This is the Gnostic vision, the transformation of the world through awakened sight. The Matrix endures because it speaks to a hunger older than the film itself, our tendency to choose the comfortable lie over the difficult truth, and our capacity to awaken when the price of sight is finally worth paying. Its deepest secret is this: the Matrix is not only out there, it lives within us. It is the lure of numbness over presence, connection simulated instead of felt, achievement measured in shadows rather than transformation. Now we stand at the threshold of a machine-shaped future, where illusion wears the face of precision, where virtual realities blur with flesh, where algorithms trace our thoughts before we think them. The film's questions cut sharper than ever. What is real? What does it mean to remain human in this age? To know the difference between connection and consumption, between intelligence and optimization, between being human and being reduced to users. The Matrix ends when you put down the screen and feel your own pulse. When you choose silence over scroll. When you look someone in the eye and remember you're both awake. That's the red pill. Not fiction, not past. Now,